Hey, guess what?
What?
My stuff gets here tomorrow.
Yay! Wonder if Aaron's fixed my stuff yet.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Did you already eat some?
Yes, I did.
Fish tastes like shit.
Fuck off. That's not what I said to do. Alright. So how was your day?
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh, it was good.
Dead air. Today we're talking technology with
Clear indication of how this is gonna go.
Yeah.
So did you watch that Rooster Teeth segment I told you to watch?
No.
I sent it to you last night at like midnight.
Yeah, I wouldn't have seen it.
Well, I thought you would watch it this morning. Well, I was watching it because I wanted some inspiration on what we should do today.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl said, because they were talking about this trip that they took and what they had to do. And this girl, I don't know who she is. She's kind of hot though. But she was like, yeah, I kind of won the trip to go there. And they were like, won? And she was like, I'm Canadian. I don't know how to say it. She's like, won. And then the Asian looking guy that talks really like proper English.
Okay, so the first person you describe is Barbara Dunkelman. She's from Canada. She works as their community manager. The second person you're naming is Gus Sorolla, born like on the border of Mexico.
He looks Asian.
Everyone says that. It's funny because in their series Red vs. Blue, they kind of hint that it's like, well, you can probably like they have a robot that only speaks Spanish because its speech unit is broken, and they're like, come on, Simmons, you can just communicate with it. He's like, what are you talking about? And they're like, you're of a Latin persuasion. He's like, I'm Dutch Irish. And when I first watched that, I thought it was just super funny. I didn't realize that was actually voiced by a guy of Mexican descent. But yeah, he has like no accent except he can't say Chicago. He says Chicago, or he could say, but he just prefers to say it.
What's wrong with that?
Chicago?
Yeah.
Usually it's a soft sound like a Chicago.
Shut up. I don't want to talk about this.
Awesome.
So, Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me. How was your day?
Good day. Let's see. At my job, what I do is I drive around the city in like a mid-2000s Crown Victoria. I work for the city government. And I am a weed and rubbish inspector. And it's like an easy job. I'm also shocked that there's actually like a budget for this, because it seems like the most pedantic thing in the world. I mean, I guess the rubbish part of it isn't that unheard of. It's just, that's what I do. Like today I was given an area, just like a part of North Lubbock. Like, go here, drive in all the alleys and buy all the houses, and just see what's there. And it's like, okay. The thing is, though, I don't know how to not take things too seriously. So I do lots of work way faster than they expect me to. Time and time again, they'll hand me a base map, just a map to work off of. And it's probably supposed to take me like 3 days, and I do it in 1. But I also, I'll get in a little bit later than everybody else, and I'll look really tired. And so, on more than one occasion, my supervisor's been like, you really don't need to get this stuff finished in a day. I was like, okay. That didn't stop me though. So I would keep working on base maps and getting them done in 2 days, maybe 3 if they were extra big. Well, our stupid copier's down. The copier for the office of all things is down. And I guess we have to contract that out to get fixed apparently. Apparently someone can't just go out and buy a print cartridge, shove it in there, and then we can get on with our lives. And it's been down since Thursday. Last Thursday. Today is a Tuesday. So several days. And that's where we print our complaint sheets, our reinspect forms, the letters that get mailed out, and the base maps. And so I've not had a base map to work off of in several days, and so I haven't had a whole lot of work to do. I ran out of work on Friday. Ran out. Flat out. They were like, they're like, find something to do. They were handing me stuff that they were assigned. Just go do this. I'm like, okay. So I'm learning now to really just stretch out whatever I have as long as possible. One of the things, on one occasion, my supervisor asked the other seasonal lead tech, she was like, where are you in your base now? She's like, oh, I only have like one done. He's like, no, that's good. Because that means you have work for the week. She looks back at me, she's like, you're my problem. And I was like, oh. And I'm like, I'm almost in trouble for working too hard. Like, city government. But, so today, I was lazy as shit. I had a bunch of re-inspects, and I said it would probably take me till like noon or 1 o'clock. I was done by 10 a.m. and I went out at like 9. It was like, shit. So, I take that time to, I just start moving slower. I go like, hang out, some like park in an alley, wait a while, and just keep moving. Because I've also found out yesterday that, there's a fraud hotline. And if they see a city vehicle sitting in one place for too long, they can call that up and report me.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So, like, we're allowed...
How'd you find this out?
One of the coworker mentioned it offhand. Because they let us... We can go home for lunch. So, like, pretty often I'll drive here, and from, like, noon to 1, I'll just be here eating. Or, in today's case, I had already eaten. I went out to eat at, like, 11, because I just ran out of things to do. And then I came back here and was just sitting here from noon to 1. In fact, what I did during that time was set this up.
Huh.
Set this up, did a test recording, see if I could do any filtering and compressing to make it sound nice, and I did. So now I've got a nice template to use.
What's it sound like?
Sounds like people talking, but there's a noise filter to, not hear the fucking AC running.
Can they hear me eating?
Yeah. I haven't programmed the noise filter for the sound of you smacking your gob together, just like pizza.
I'm eating this delicious pizza that Bill bought.
Just as quietly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
As you shove it in your face. But shut up. Now I can't think of how to segue in the next thing.
I don't know, but that seems quite shallow and productive.
I hate you. Anyway, so I worked real slow today. I actually ended up having an hour and a half long phone conversation with my friend, Alex, back home. I just called him. What did I call him to talk? Oh,
about your phone bill.
God. Okay, so we'll save that story for another segment. But point is, I pre-ordered a device called a coin. It's not a coin. It's actually a credit card kind of thing. You're supposed to be able to store credit cards in it, so you only carry one card, and you just hit a button on it to switch cards. Which is kind of cool, but that would have been really cool 5 years ago. Today we have Apple Pay, Android Pay, Google Wallet, and I think actually Google Wallet became Android Pay. Point is, Google Wallet came out before that, so you could pay with your phone at places like 6 years ago. And Coin came out like 2 years ago, so it was already useless. And on the Rooster Teeth podcast, actually, both Bernie and Gus have a coin, and they fucking hate it.
That sounds ridiculous.
It's supposed to save space, but they have to carry the coin and the cards it has stored, just because it like the magnetic stripe won't read on most things. So I got an email from them. I basically Kickstarted or backed it at one point, and I never got it. They never sent it to me.
Oh, so it's a card?
Yeah, it's a card. A physical card that you store card numbers in.
Wait, then how do you swipe to fucking choose?
Yeah, it has a magnetic strip that'll rewrite. So you can swipe as one card, and then hit a button, and it'll change the data in the magnetic strip, and swipe another card.
I don't understand.
Computers are weird, man. Point is...
Confused.
So,
I'm so confused.
Shut up. But, the coin... So, like, the magnetic strip doesn't work very well, so they'll swipe it, and it won't read. So they'll swipe it again, it won't read. They'll change the card, and it won't read. So it's like, it's useless. Not to mention, we can pay with our phones and shit now, so really, it was useless before it even started. It's like, wow, this was a bad idea. So I get an email, and their plan is, they've got a new version of it, the Coin 2.0 or whatever. And okay. I get an email saying, like, change your shipping address, and you'll get the new one for free. And it's like, I don't want it. So, like, I called my friend Alex, I'm like, should I get it? I mean, I paid the $50 to get it 2 years ago.
You paid $50?
Yeah, a fucking waste of money. Because it never showed up. Like, it had, like, a brief run in, like, some select cities, and then no one ever heard from it. So, like, every update from them was apologetic. Like, sorry, we'll get our shit together, and they Never did. So
It really said, sorry, we'll get our shit together?
no, it probably said something along the lines of, we are deeply, deeply sorry that we have not delivered on these promises, and have like maybe some spiel from like the CEO guys, like, hi, I'm Todd, can't pay with cards, and
I'm Todd, can't pay with cards.
and I still don't understand how credit card worked. Was just
Credits card?
Shut up. By the way, if I ever need to bleep anything, I'm gonna use that fucking I'm gonna use that just so that'll be another story. But anyway, so I paid the money. I just have to change my shipping address, but I don't want it. And so I called Alex to say, yeah, I don't want this, but I paid money for it. He's like, well, because he's also pre-ordered a card thing like that, but it's called plastic. But you can like store ID cards on it, and it has like the near field communication stuff that you pay with phones. So it's actually like a way to bring other credit cards into the future.
All of this sounds like an easy way to just steal all your shit.
I think there's encryption, but I don't know. We're talking technology today. Dead air. And, so he's explained to me how the plastic is just vastly superior. I'm like, God damn it, I should not have bought the coin.
You know, just a suggestion, you could just get a fucking wallet and carry all of your things on there.
I do.
Like a normal person. And maybe if you
I am a normal person.
If you want, just make all of your PIN numbers the same. But I don't understand what the big deal is.
It's supposed, I guess if you have like a shitload of cards, like if you got, let's say you're a business person and you've got your own debit card, your own credit card, and like a business credit card, like a gas card, you could put those all in one spot and save space in your wallet. Or if you don't have a wallet, if you have like one of those phone cases that holds cards, you could hold less stuff that way.
I guess that makes sense.
It's a first world problem. I have 2 payment cards, and then like everything else is gift cards or like my Progressive Art Society membership card, my OnStar card,
Mr. Bill.
Yeah, and some gift cards from from Doc when I helped them record stuff. They couldn't pay me in money, so they paid me in gift cards.
That sounds terrible.
I still have a Burger King card from them. I should probably.
Why didn't you buy us Burger King? You bought us Pizza Hut?
Sponsored by Pizza Hut now. So look for that.
This caffeine-free Coca-Cola tastes terrible. Nice and hot.
So in summation, I pre-ordered a coin, never got it, have a chance to get one, don't want it, probably get it anyway. But I spent an hour and a half talking to Alex about that. I was parked in front of somebody's house the whole time, just sitting there. Like, I didn't realize how much time had gone by. Like, people had come and gone at the houses around for me. I'm like, fuck, I hope I don't get called. I don't know if I didn't get called in for something like that.
How many people really know there's a number to call,
though? Every old codger in every neighborhood who has not enough time on or has too much time on their hands saying things, calling up the weed hotline. Saying, I swear to God, I've called 4 times in the past month and you haven't mowed the goddamn weed. And there's 5 minutes of that, and they never said the address. And when they say the address at the end, they mumble the shit out of it, so you have to listen to the whole goddamn message again. Number 4, not 5. Back in the 40-odd 6, I was in World War II. Did you know that? And it's just, it's awful. Just, So, that was, my day was just wasting time on taxpayer money, mostly.
You're so fired.
They keep telling me, like, you don't need to work so fast, so I didn't.
You know what, you're doing what you were told, I guess you're right.
Which is silly. Like my notepad, you know what this is?
What is that?
That is the design for the doors for that thing that I never fleshed out. So we've got
housekeeping.
Yes, because I took that fucking shed. Leans like straight as a dog's hind leg. What? Never mind. Cat's dog.
Cat's dog?
Can't talk. Goddamn.
So on broader news, I got hired at Guitar Center.
Really?
Yeah. Yesterday. I missed my first 2 classes, but
So I'm not the only one who's not really the best performer at their job.
Well, it was for the job. So they called me on Saturday.
Jesus, my Saturday.
And the first manager calls me. He's the main manager. And he calls me. He's like, hey, I need you to show up, Monday morning at 8:30 for an interview. Can you do that? in my head, I instantly know that I can't. I have an 8 a.m. Math class.
Oh, you're in school. Oh God.
Class after that, and I go to class from 8 in the morning. It's 4 in the afternoon. So I tell him there's probably, I won't be able to do it, and he, I hope doesn't ever listen to this, but he was a total dick. And I told him, like, maybe I could try to figure something out, and his response was,
I wonder which Guitar Center it is. There's so many.
And he then tells me it's as simple as, are you coming or not? And, I couldn't answer then and there, because I was, going to email my professor, see if I could attend a different class period, because I knew this was the only, 8 a.m. thing that I have to be at. So I told him I would do my best, and he was just like, fine, that's cool. If you show up, that's cool. If not, I guess, we'll figure it out, and maybe we can hire you some other time. I was like, great. So then, an hour and a half passes by, and then the other manager calls. And he's like, hey, can you come for an interview tomorrow morning? And I was like, sure, I can come tomorrow morning. Sunday, 8 o'clock. Sure, no problem. He's like, oh, wait, I meant Monday. Great. So I have to tell him the same thing, too. Luckily, he was way nicer. He was like, oh, yeah, sure, cool. Just, let us know. Make sure you bring a black pen, come in uniform.
Make sure you bring a number two pencil.
Pencil?
You know what? You know that you're going to flub some shit later.
I know.
And I'm going to ream you for it.
So, whatever. I email my professors and they're cool with it. I take a freebie and, perk methods and whatnot. And I go to this interview and I show up at 8:20 and I'm like the last one to show up that's parked. So, they let us in at 8:25 and then people are still showing up kind of lame. There's 6 of us. So our only instructions were to come in uniform, which I was told black pants, black shirt, but everybody else was in fucking jeans and black shirts, so whatever.
So you're in concert black?
I'm pretty much in concert black, yeah. And then the first thing they ask us is, oh, who didn't bring pens with them? I had 2. So this
I feel like that's my fault. The ultra preparedness thing, because you remember during the school year, I had 2 of my own pens, 2 pens to loan. Jesus.
You did. You had shit pens. You had.
Oh yeah, all my loaner pens were super shitty. It's like, here, take this. Like, this is the GIMP pen. It's like, yeah, my nice pens are mine.
You did.
Pilot G2 Master Race.
Well, anyways, the first question the main boss asked, the guy that was being a total douche, and he was being a total douche at this too. He had like no emotion other than pissed off.
Hello and welcome to Guitar Center.
Not really. It was just like, hey, all right, who doesn't have a plan with them?
A plan?
Fuck.
Yeah, get fucked.
So who doesn't have a pen with them? And right before that had happened, one of the guys next to me was like, oh shoot, I don't have a pen. But the guy in front of me was nice enough to be like, oh, here, I brought 2. I wasn't going to lend anybody my pens. I have nice pens. Like, one of them says a name and the other one writes awesome. I wasn't going to give them to anybody if we needed to write something down. So, one of the guys was like, oh, I forgot a pen. And the boss, my main boss guy, is holding, like a handful of pens, right? So he's just assuming he's going to hand it to him. He's like, okay, who doesn't have a pen? This guy's like, oh, I forgot a pen. He's like, cool, you can get out.
Oh!
And he was like, what? He was like, yeah, it was pretty simple instructions. Bring a pen with you, come in uniform. You can't follow instructions, you can't work a Guitar Center, get out. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I just got way more nervous.
A pucker factor of like 8, just like...
Oh, yeah. For sure. Speaking about pucker factor, I have a nice story about pucker factor right now.
A nice story about pucker factor?
Yes, it involves some colleagues of mine. You are familiar with him.
Alright.
So, the next question he asked is, who has fully available schedule? 2 people raise their hands. They're instantly hired, just like that. He doesn't care what they do, just hired. And I'm like, great. There's 4 spots and 2 were just taken. I have the worst schedule of all. I can only work a handful of hours, and, they have to work with my schedule. Like that, at that point, I was like, great.
You're liability at that point. It's like...
Yeah. So, finally, he's like, why should I hire you guys? Whatever. And then this dude was like, well, I'm a hard worker. I worked in realty my whole life, and that's why you should hire. Realty? Like sales?
Okay, so what is that called? Never mind. Just keep
That's
going.
a realtor.
Yeah.
Is it the same?
You meant retail.
That's what I meant to say.
You said realty.
English is hard.
I know, right? Fucking sucks.
Well, anyways, so
the
girl's like, there's this girl, and I knew she wasn't gonna get the job. She looked like she was 12, for one, and she was super shy. Like I couldn't even hear what she was saying. She said something about like, I work hard. I really like to be clean.
I like to take a loofah and scrub my body with it. It's like you're making me uncomfortable, small girl.
So as soon as she, said why she should be hired,
set the building on fire.
I'm talking.
Oh, far be it from me to try to not interrupt people when they talk.
You're white. You were taught manners.
You've always got to play the race card. We're like 20 minutes in.
It's at least you got 20 minutes.
True.
Are you white? I'm just letting our listeners, all 2 of them,
all 0 of them,
that you are white.
Yep, I'm white as hell.
Yeah.
See through in places.
You really are. I can see your
probably
veins.
A problem,
You can see all the little white blood cells flowing through.
Even my blood cells are white. All of them are white.
All of them are white.
It's like the blood from Alien. Just acid.
Ooh. Gross.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was in my story. Moral of the story is,
got hired.
I did a great job. And
what did you say your strengths were when they got to you? I play drums. Is that
kind of.
It's like I'm an actual musician.
Kind of, something like that.
I won the fucking drum set contest, you goddamn hacks.
I had to drop out of the finals because I got hired.
Drop out, of course.
Well, it worked out because I have a concert that day too, so I was going to be able to go anyways. But after I got hired, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to have to drop you out of the finals because you can't do that and work here. That's dumb. Wouldn't you want
I imagine you, not going to a concert to go play at a drum set competition. Oh my god, Dr. Allen would tear you apart.
Dr. Allen, I'm gonna be late. Why? I gotta go contest.
I got a drum set contest at the Guitar Center. He's like, he just drops the professionalism. Are you fucking kidding me?
The fuck?
He just picks you up by the neck and throws you on the ground.
You know drum.
You're like, I know drum. Don't hurt me.
Pulls his shirt off, just jacked.
Fucking is jacked. I remember Ian, I think it was Ian saying they were playing flag football or something. He just showed up to play. And he tackled Ian and just threw him to the ground.
Jesus.
And Ian's like, wow.
Wow, you're strong.
Look how strong he is.
He's so strong.
Jesus. It's just inside joke after inside joke. We're just not going to explain them until it's absolutely necessary. It's only 2 years of working turn in an apartment complex.
Oh, shit.
God damn.
When they ask me why I should be hired, I don't remember what I say. I always bullshit. I know what people want to hear.
Yeah.
Except for people on the podcast. I don't know what they want to hear.
You mean me?
But I think I said, I was hardworking. I made it a point to let them know that I was missing school to
I thought you were going to say Mexican.
Pretty sure they can tell that by looking at me.
Nah.
I also can't say Juan.
Juan.
Juan. Who's Juan? No, I won. Your name's Jacob.
It's Jacob. Oh, a lot of phlegm. Goddamn lemon juice.
Wow. If anybody's still listening right now, thank you so much.
They're not. So, pucker factor.
Oh, okay, pucker factor. So, do you know Colin and Hudson?
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't know Colin's name for 3 years in a row, 2 years in a row, but
that's right, Colin.
And he kept asking me, and I'm like, nope.
Colin with 2 L's. It's really only one, but my phone made a typo one time.
Oh, okay. I'm like, Facebook, his name's just Colin. Why else? It's Colin.
Koyin! Oh yeah, Koyin!
And that is what you will call him now.
So, they think this girl, who I will leave nameless, because she's probably going to listen to this.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
They think she's really hot, right? And as many people know, if you know me, I don't give 2 shits.
You will walk up to literally anyone and tell them almost anything.
Yeah. So, they made the mistake of telling me this as she was passing by.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sitting, in the Student Union building, at a normal booth, and she's walking by, and both of them are like, man, she's so hot. And I'm like, who? And let's call her Lucy. It's not her name, but they were like, Lucy. And I was like, huh, Lucy. Okay. And I was like, I don't know which one that is. She's like, oh, it's that one right there. But there was only 2 girls. So whatever. So they're walking back, and, we're just carrying on a conversation, all of us. And there's a few of us at the table. But I see them walking back, and they see me trying to see her. Mm-hmm. And both of them are just like, what are you doing? Like, why are you looking that way? And as they approach our table, I stop both of them. I'm like, hey, which one of you is Lucy? Mm-hmm. And both of them, Colin turned pale.
just like, oh God.
Yeah.
Interaction.
And Hudson was just quiet and still. He looked like he got a dig in the ass because he got straight up. Like, his posture was great. He was one of those, what do you call those white, like, women who go to the fancy balls and...
A debutante?
Those.
How would you... Okay, whatever.
I don't know. Anyways, he looked like one of those.
That's a pretty lofty word for the English language. No one refers to anything as debutante.
Well...
How much Cinderella did you watch as a kid?
I can honestly say I've never seen that movie. I know there's a song that goes like, Cinderella, Cinderella.
Oh yeah, by that stupid little fat-ass mouse asshole.
But that was also the commercial on Disney Channel.
Fair enough.
Anyways, so both of them are just waiting to hear what the next words out of my mouth are going to be. And, I look at them both and I was like, hey, who's Lucy? And Lucy's like, me, hi. And I was like, oh,
would you like to buy some Avon?
No. So I was like, oh, hi, you're Lucy. And she's like, yeah, why? I was like, I just heard your name thrown around. I just wanted to just put a face to the name. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day. And
as the color comes back, the column.
Yeah, and they walk away, and like you can hear their sigh of relief just immediately after. They're just like, "Oh my God!" Colin still hasn't moved by this point. He's just like staring at the table, just in shock. And I was like, "What's wrong with you guys?" They're like, "Dude, we thought you were so gonna tell her." And I was like, "I know." And I was like, "How much did your asshole pucker?" And that's how I got into the story.
Pucker factor like 10.5, just asshole slamming shut.
I think one of them said like nothing would be able to squeeze through because it was that tight. It was just great. It was
a ball valve. Oh my God. Wasn't there a similar one where like we were all eating at HK and I didn't actually do it because I don't have the balls, but I was saying like, hey,
you don't have balls?
I don't. Those guys, there were just some attractive women across the way, and the whole table was like ogling them. I wanted to go over there and be like, hey, that table's objectifying the shit out of you.
That would have been great. She was having lunch with somebody too.
Oh yeah, you talked about like calling a name and figure out which one was which. That reminds me of a story. Back in Lynn, there was this big French horn player, kind of looked like a football player, and so he would like dress in like an old football jersey and like some like basketball shorts, sit in front of the football dorm and just yell shit at people. So he would just sit there like, "Hey, girl in the blue, girl in the blue," and there'd be no girl in the blue, like maybe one in like green or something. They're like, "Who are you talking to?" And just like say random dumb shit to confuse people. It was the best thing.
In Music for Children, when you took it, did you ever learn that Lucy Locket lost her pocket thing?
Oh, and all the series of foul language that come from that?
What?
Oh, like, Lucy, fuck it, something. I've just heard that, like, kids will either change the words to curse words or they'll just, like, stumble over words.
No, I was gonna ask you if you knew what the story was about, because all children's songs are fucked up.
Oh, yeah, Lucy Locket lost her pocket. Some asshole found it. Something.
But do you know what they are really referring to?
No.
But how do we know?
Yeah, but how do we know?
So apparently...
Write that down.
Apparently, this Lucy Locket bitch, way back in the day, like when there was a king, the king would have his side hoes, right? And...
I believe they're called concubines, or his court.
Side hoes. So, Lucy Locket was...
Yea, the king doth declare his side hoes are in order. And then the bugle be like... That was the worst bugle noise ever. Continue, please.
So, Lucy Locket, right, is one of his side hoes. And apparently, this pocket business, because I asked the question.
The fuck's a pocket?
Yeah, I was like, how did she lose her pocket? You know, like
it's like, isn't that shit showed in?
Yeah.
Sewed in?
So, our, TA then proceeds to tell us a story about how the king would have his side bitches, and the pocket was really a bag full of money to keep them, living, well.
Hush money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, shut the hell up, but you'll have fancy things, Be a side hoe. No, you roll and shut your mouth. And, well, apparently, her losing her pocket was her being replaced by the bitch that found it.
Uh-oh.
And that's why when she picked up her pocket, or whatever, it had nothing in it, because she was like, bitch, you replaced, because my pussy better now. And she then gets the money and the pocket.
Is that what the TA said?
Well, it is pretty close.
You're paraphrasing.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, Jesus Christ, and we're singing this to kids? Like, all these children's songs are really fun.
Are dark as hell.
Yeah,
like,
really.
And Ring Around the Rosie, like, from the plague or something. That might be.
I thought that was London Bridges. No, London Bridges is something else.
It's probably the Blitz. For bombing in World War II. No,
Blitz 2000? Nintendo 64?
What the hell's a Nintendo?
I forgot, you don't play sports games.
I don't.
You don't sport.
Not at all. Let's give a brief rundown of my history with sports. I think in not even third grade. It was in kindergarten when I still lived in New Orleans.
In Nolens?
New Orleans. Come on, we're not.
Nolens?
Anyway, I was in like a kiddie soccer league.
Great.
I had knee pads and everything. There's probably pictures behind me.
Knee pads?
I mean, shin pads.
I was like, what the fuck did you need knee pads for?
It was called soccer. We had to stay on our knees and suck off the coach.
Oh!
Coach was a lady. That was weird. Anyway, I remember I was so excited to get my shin pads. I remember kicking stuff with my shins with my shin pads on. I'm like, wow, it's like armor. Anyway, I sucked shit at soccer.
I'm pretty sure you did.
Yeah. Those chairs are awful, by the way.
Well, it doesn't help that I'm leaning back.
Oh yeah, that thing, you'll fucking
right
die. No, when I was doing my test recording, I took your spot and moved the chair. It was like, it just made noise. Like, I had to figure out how to do that. So I learned how to use compressor and Reaper because it was the loudest thing in the retarding core. I'm like, need to fix that. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so I would miss the ball when I kicked it a lot. I would just stand in the field because I had no idea what was going on. I made a goal once in the wrong goal, and I just wanted to make a goal. And, the other kids were mad at me for it. And I was celebrating, yeah, I got a goal. And the coach is like, no, you put it in the wrong one. I'm like,
you put it in
there's
the
a right one? I'm like, which one's ours? It's like, the home side. What home side? I still don't know what the home side is. I don't know what that means.
That just means which goal you go to.
When is that determined?
Oh, whichever one your goalie isn't in.
What the fuck's a goalie?
Okay, basic rules of soccer. You have people on the field. Okay? The goalie is typically...
I know Rocket League. That's soccer with cars.
I can't even with you right now.
Oh, really? Time for a PSL?
Never mind, I don't want to do that.
Pumpkin spice latte?
What?
Pumpkin spice latte, PSL?
Shut
Can't
up.
even? Where's your Ugg boots, your black tights, some Nike shorts, and a
hey, don't hate on yoga pants. Yoga pants.
I'm not hating on yoga pants. I'm just describing the sorority attire.
We don't all dress like that, okay?
Some of us have standards. Like, you didn't get in, did you? No! Oh, damn.
Okay, continue with this, because I feel like you are...
Oh, yeah, more story. There's okay. Junior Soccer League, that was in New Orleans. Suck shit at that.
I thought you suck dick. Now you suck shit?
Both. Gymnastics. That was when we moved to Hempstead. We would actually travel to Belleville, which is half an hour away, maybe 45.
For gymnastics? What would you do?
I remember that it was a big blue metal building. You could still probably see it from whatever highway it goes by. I don't remember. I was a kid. And, remember I hated stretching because it hurt. It was basically tumbling, is what it was. It was just...
I wonder if your family has any videos of this.
No, there were never... There were probably never public events for that. Like, I was never competitive. I'm just not competitive, so why? Like, my favorite day was trampoline day. So you just get to jump on trampolines. Or, like, they set up, like, the big foam squares, and there'd be, like, a rope you could climb on them. It was like an obstacle course. I kind of like that, but, like, I hated stretching. I remember my sister was into it. She could do, like, round-offs and shit, and, like, flips and shit. And she actually went on to do ballet for a while. She was getting pretty good, but she had some hip problems. And
Some hip problems.
And so after gymnastics, I think it was another round of kiddie soccer, but this was in like first grade. Still hated it. Like the shin pads. Still had no idea what I was doing. Then I did basketball.
Great.
That was the closest I came to ever being almost good at something.
You knew how to dribble and walk?
I knew how to, yeah, that's about it. I just like dribbling. It was like, wow, I can keep it in, like I was a physics nerd at the time. I was like, wow, I can kind of keep it in motion and shit. It's like if I move, it moves, and it keeps my momentum. Wow. And,
here you go, Newton. Take the layup.
I didn't know what a layup was.
Great.
I would never score a goal. I've never scored a goal anywhere.
I thought you were going to say I've never scored. I was like, well, Bill.
You're not wrong. And, what was after basketball? I never did football. I was adamant that I would never do football.
Why? You get all the pads.
Do they have wings?
Do I have to sculpt the penis?
Do I have to play football with my penis? Oh, that would hurt.
Only if you go to... Never mind.
Well. And, What other sports did I play? Baseball. Baseball was another one I did a lot.
I feel like you could be okay at baseball.
I was okay at baseball, but I didn't like it.
Why?
For those listening, I am giving... I almost said Joseph. Wow.
Great.
Just giving Jacob a look that basically says, have I ever had the initiative to do anything athletic in my entire life?
Well, I don't know if you remember the time I'm going to go play racquetball and you busted my face open.
I mean, you I almost said you earned it. You're asking for it. Speaking of sports, that's pretty much all the sports I played. Golf. I did play a little bit of golf in high school. In fact, I stopped taking drum set lessons to take golf lessons.
That was a mistake.
Huge fucking mistake as we stare over at my drum set that I suck at playing.
With no cymbals because they're in my car.
Yeah, I'm gonna need those back. And, let's see, took golf lessons, was playing with my friend Alex, and the only reason I like golf was to play with friends and not give a shit about score. Fast forward, 6-8 years to like 3 weeks ago when you and I played golf. So that ordeal started with you got some golf clubs or some lessons or something. And you're like, hey, let's go out to a range. I'm like, well, I did bring my golf clubs up because it seemed like Ian was going to have an interest in golf again. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll bring my shit. So my golf club sat for like 2 months. And then we go out to the range. And we're like, oh, okay, this is kind of fun. And I like tried to remember how to play. And the furthest I ever drive is with a 4-iron because it's the only thing I know how to hit with. Everything else is a crapshoot. And I thought I was okay at putting. I'm not okay at putting. That was a mistake. And so we're hitting balls. We go out.
The look on Bill's face when he saw how ginormous the bucket of balls was, though,
so like
was just priceless.
I've only been to one other country club in my life. It was the one in Brenham, and it's bucket of golf balls. It's like I don't know, the size of like a milk carton, and like that's I assume
milk carton,
a gallon of milk.
That's different.
Moving on, and so I'd never seen golf balls in any more amount than that before in my life. He fucking asshole Jacob loads up a fucking jumbo.
I had never been there. I didn't know what the jumbo was. Can I get a jumbo?
And it was like 4 gallons of milk.
It was giant. There was at least like 200 balls in there.
Yeah, it was like, oh, and my face was like, what the fuck? We're gonna be here till like 9 o'clock.
It really took us a long time.
And so I got my jumbo because I didn't want to be outdone, and I was just hitting them as fast as I could so I could go home as early as possible.
And it still took about an hour and a half.
It was like an hour and a half of driving.
Consistent hitting, too. It wasn't even fucking breaks.
Yeah, it was just like, go, go, go. And we'd, I wouldn't drive for shit. You'd drive pretty far, but it would be like way to the right. I always go to the left. No matter how far I adjust my ankle, my ball will end up in the next highway or the next county. It's just like, wow, I suck ass. So I got a second time and drive, I think. Probably. And then that went a little better. And we were like, okay, this weekend, let's go golfing. All 18 holes. I'm like, son of a fuck. Because all I remember from my time as a golfer in high school was we always had to carry our clubs. We weren't allowed to use a golf cart. And we'd do 18-hole tournaments at these podunk places in Houston while it's like in the middle of summer. It's hot. The humidity's up. And so it's like, I don't want to be here. This isn't going to be fun at all. You're paired with people you don't know. And I'm like, I suck at golf. I might as well write down double par on every hole and just call it a day. Which I did sometimes. Usually the back...
Double par! Double par! Double par!
And, and one time triple par. And so...
Still have that scorecard.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you would have brought that, it would have been fun to review. Well, maybe not. But...
You did it.
So I would always remember that by the back nine, I was exhausted. I didn't like being out in the sun. And I didn't give a shit what the score was anymore. I just wanted to go home. So I would usually write down double par for the back nine, pretend to play, and then just go back to the clubhouse. Like, they didn't expect you back by a certain... Like, I think it was, like, try to be back by 4:30. It's like... And then it's like 5:30 or 6, and it's like, oh, God. So, tournament sucked. I hate walking. But since we're adults now, we can get golf carts. So that makes it a little better. I still felt like I did a shitload of walking because it was just...
You had to search for your balls?
Because I would always lose mine. Of course, you would too with your fancy pink golf balls. You're
oh my god, those were the worst shits ever.
You thought you wouldn't lose them, and you were just like, every hit just... I don't know where that went. I don't know where that went either. It's like, fucking, it's gone. Throw down another one.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I'm pretty sure there's rules about what kind of stroke count happens when you lose a ball. I feel like it counts as a stroke. We just didn't because we would have been like triple par.
triple par before we even get close to it.
Mm-hmm. Remember we started slow. It was like 20 minutes on the first drive.
We started over.
Yeah, we started over. It's like mulligan. Then we just move on to the next one. So first hole was, if you could sum up the day, it was losing golf balls, running out of gas, running the cart out of gas. This fucking place still uses gas-powered golf carts for some reason. It's like, okay. And so we're driving, and like by the fourth, it was hole number 4.
Yeah,
where you're like, and you're like, I think it's out of gas. And I thought you were joking because it sounded like it was running. I didn't know how the gas ones work. It's like a starter that's also a pusher motor and blah blah blah. And so we're out of gas. Like, we're actually out of gas. So I call up the clubhouse and say, hey, we're out of gas on hole number 4. He's like, oh, yeah, that happens sometimes. So let's, we'll gas you up. It's like, okay. We'll wait like 15 minutes.
The funniest part to me was the fact that it was the exact scene out of Thriller. Out of the, theatrical Thriller version where he's like, we're out of gas. And, like, that whole scene was just perfect. Because Bill was like, are you kidding? Like, are you serious? And I could not move the cart, and no matter how far down I pushed it, it was going like half a mile a second, and it was just terrible. I said half a mile a second. Imagine it was going half a mile a second. Holy shit.
Be awesome. Approaching the speed of light there. That's how light works, right? Yeah, guy drives up in their golf cart. He's like, hey, we don't have enough gas for a full tank, so this should be plenty to get you back to the clubhouse by the 9th hole, which was next to the clubhouse. And, yeah, we got back, traded golf carts with one that had some gas, some more. You're like, is it full? I'm like, no, not a lot.
Took a 30-minute break, had some Cheetos.
Some candy bars, and went out for the back 9. And how'd we do golf score-wise? Not great.
I think we're supposed to score like 76.
Oh, yeah, 76 was like par for the course.
Yeah.
And I did double that.
You did double that?
I think double that plus some change.
I kind of want to go get the golf.
I think you were like a little under it.
Yeah.
You did better than I did, which I predicted to be the truth, because you were like, well, it'll be fun. I'm like, I'm going to do worse than you, I promise. You're like, no, you won't.
For a second, I thought it was looking pretty even, considering I could drive the shit out of it in a whole different direction.
Your long game is okay. both of our short games are terrible. My mid game is the best. But it's useless, because it's like a mid game, but then multiply that by 5 strokes to get from the start to the hole. I remember I had a great drive that landed next to the green, and then like 4 shots went to getting the damn thing on the green, overshot, get it back on the green, almost overshot, putted 1,000 yards to the hole, miss, and then it's in.
Then it got windy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it got very windy. Oh, it's so windy today. What a windy day it was as we snidely pushed the thing in the hole. It's like, fuck it. If we had been with someone who's a serious golfer, they would have been, oh my god, you've cheated at golf, and I don't give a shit at all.
When are we going to go this month? We have to go again.
Yeah, you keep making that claim, and I just wonder if that's going to...
It has to happen before at least it gets cold, because I don't do cold. I fucking hate the cold.
I picked an odd town to go to school in for cold.
I did not own a jacket until I got here, and it was, December, and school was canceled because we had a blizzard watch. I remember we got that alert, warning, blizzard watch. I looked at it and I said, they're full of shit.
The fuck?
At 4 a.m, when I got the, TTU,
I remember
emergency.
That was my first year at Tech, where it was like...
Yeah, mine too.
Oh, shit.
And they were like, school canceled for, blizzard, whatever. I was like, what the hell? I remember going outside of the apartment, taking my dog out, and the snow was up to his chest.
Oh, shit.
And that was the first time I saw snow, like actual snow. Because in El Paso, it doesn't snow, it ice.
Ice, it'll sleet and it'll...
Yeah, and it rarely happens because it's hot there. People think it's cold when it's 60 degrees.
Yeah, it's jacket weather. It's like, no.
Yeah, and...
Now, the wind chill here will get into the negatives, and it's fucking brutal.
And I remember when I first came to audition in February.
Oh,
there was... Yep. It was raining for one, and I had this shitty Under Armour jacket. It was a pool, a hoodie.
I have an Under Armour hoodie, but they don't do well in the wet.
And usually back home, it was all I needed. It was even if it was cold, I was sweating in that. So I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. And I went to Walmart with my stepdad and my mom, and there was this person in shorts, and it was 60 something, 62 degrees, and I was like, holy crap, that person's crazy. I'm freezing over here. And it didn't realize to me that I've been in Lubbock this long that my mom came to visit, and it was 62 degrees, and I was in basketball shorts and a t-shirt, and she was freezing. And she made it clear to me, and she asked me, she's like, you realize you became...
Mijo, why are you dressed so thin?
That's actually pretty good. It's close.
That can't be what your mom sounds like.
Yeah, it's kind of what she sounds like.
Oh, that's offensive. On another Rooster Teeth production called X-Ray and Vav. X-Ray is based off of Ray Narvaez, who's a Puerto Rican, and they have, I think it's one of the animators, do his mom's voice. He's like, "Mijo, the tamales are ready." You just hear it faintly in the background, and he's like, "Shut up, mom! Mom, I'm trying to be a superhero right now." It's fucking funny.
Oh, I really want tamales now. It sounds good. Some menudo.
Something you'll see on Reddit a lot is whenever Texas or Christmas is brought up, it's different for each family. And someone kept bringing up tamales for Christmas. And I really want that. Because that sounds fucking delicious. Curled up around a fire.
Yeah, but I bet your tamales are little tiny burrito type tamales.
Now, I hail from Hempstead, Texas. And we have at least 4 Mexican restaurants, because those are the only ones that can survive in downtown Hempstead. May I remind you that we have a clock tower that is not finished. It has been that way for 15 years. They put some bricks around the bottom, and hung a piece of goddamn I-beam next to the bell to ring it. Because they never had the money. It's a poor town. We used to have a dealership called... what the fuck was it called?
Pretty
Marshall? Sure. Anyway, point is... It's a shithole. Let's see. There's a Los Fuentes there that is kind of a chain, or it's in Brenham or something. But that restaurant does fine. And then there's this one restaurant space that's just a rotating series of barbecue places and Mexican places. And every 2 years it switches out. So I've gotten some great tamales from these people.
So burrito tamales.
Shut up.
I'll have my mom make some, and then you could have tamales for the first time, Bill.
Good. I love homemade tamales.
I bet you would.
Tamales. Would you like some spaghetti? Oh my god. Look at my topics here, because we've hit a bit of a lull at 50 minutes. Wow.
How long is this supposed to last?
I'd say at least an hour. So we're getting close to. I know what we should do. I shouldn't hit the table because it's really fucking loud on these mics. Should probably hang these from a stand, not on the table.
Well, if we were anything like our heroes at Rooster Teeth, we would be sitting on a couch.
I'm pretty sure I'm a bigger Rooster Teeth fan than you. You're only...
Did I say I was a bigger Rooster Teeth fan than you? No! I said if we were anything like our favorites on Rooster Teeth, we would be sitting on a couch. I didn't say, Bill, I'm a bigger Rooster Teeth fan than you.
Alright. Calm down, Gaylord. Let's just move on.
I hate that! Don't know why. Just do!
So speaking of podcasts, I listen to a shitload of podcasts. Have you ever listened to any podcasts before?
I don't even know what a podcast is.
Good thing you're here then, because I'm about to instruct you. So, first podcast I ever listened to was from a radio show in Austin called the Dudley and Bob Morning Show. Now the Dudley Bob plus Matt Show. I haven't listened in a while, but
I listen to radio.
And so, that podcast was really just the radio show, but they would export it to upload to a podcast service or to iTunes, basically. And I was shown that by my friend Alex. He was like, oh, listen to this morning show. It's pretty fun. I'm like, oh, it is. And they had a backlog of like 8 years. And so that took me 2 years to listen through.
Jesus.
Of just like casual listening, like in the morning, in the shower, and in the car for driving and stuff.
Oh, I thought they would record in the morning in the shower.
No. Their morning show is like from 4 a.m. to 8, something like that. No, 6 a.m. to 10 is what it was, I think. And so I listened to that. It's a 4-hour show. Now it's 3 hours plus a 1 hour of podcast of a private podcast, so they can swear. Because on terrestrial radio, you're governed by the FCC and you can't use swear words. On podcasts, however, you can say whatever you fucking want to.
What are we on?
Podcast. I've been meaning to ask you about that. I think we'll upload this to. We can either upload it to my SoundCloud, or we can make a SoundCloud for this.
I don't give a shit.
Well, we'll probably start with my SoundCloud. One of the last topic we're going to cover is what we're going to fucking call this thing. But anyway.
What are we going to call this thing?
Not now.
Okay.
Give it a second. It's on the list. Which is really,
I can't see the list.
The list is a word bubble.
You're being, like, super stingy with the list.
Fuck you. I mean, no. That's just your opinion.
I hope Bill's parents are listening to this right now. Because they are going to see how mean you are to me.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I guess they'll...
And your beautiful sister, you are so mean to, and you don't appreciate her for being the sister.
They'll kick me out of the family and adopt you. So
that's what I'm hoping.
They'll kick you out too. So you have to.
Yeah, that way I reign supreme of the men under your debt.
And Jesus. Anyway, what a weird, twisted little fantasy life you want to lead. What was I going to say?
I learned it from watching you.
Shut up. So I listened to that podcast first for a long time. And then once I got through it, I moved to the Nerdist podcast, which is by Chris Hardwick. Then, actually before that was Girl on Guy by Aisha Tyler. Then...
Wait, are we still talking about
podcasts? Yes. It's just a title. After the Nerdist was... I think actually that whole time was a Rooster Teeth podcast. Their backlog goes back to like 4 years into the company, and they're like 11 or 12 or 13 years. No, 13 years into the... Whatever. They're around a while. And so a lot of them have in common, they're free form. They usually... I say a lot. They start around a table just like this. Usually not even as well recorded as this. Actually, one of my favorite podcasts is the Internet Box podcast, which didn't start with Rooster Teeth people. It started with people that ended up being hired by Rooster Teeth. The way they did it they would all be on Skype. They'd sync up somehow, and then they'd record on their own computers and send the audio files to one dude to edit it. Which I always thought was kind of cool, so we could do like distance recording that way.
If you want, we can do that one day, but we have to be really popular before we do that.
Yeah, well, we'll record from our... Nah, I think it's a good idea to meet. It's more intimate. But...
I don't know where you're thinking this is going.
Shut up. So, the thing about the Dudley and Bob show is the way they do pretty casual humor, they'll do segments and stuff, but the big thing they do is they call it pulling back the curtain. They kind of talk about the radio business and how to set up shows and how to set up things like that. So I've always liked shows that are like, we don't know what we're fucking doing with the mics today. Or earlier when I was saying like, yeah, I figured out how to do compression and reverb. I thought it was cool to kind of discuss the art of podcasting. But some people, I think most people try to get it up on iTunes because that's That's where podcasting started. It comes from iPod.
Duh.
For, broadcasting, but on pods. Talking technology today.
That's the topic, I guess.
Apparently. And, so what we'll probably do is we'll do SoundCloud first. Probably if we get any traction there, we might start uploading to YouTube.
I would like to do videos. Like, I feel we could get a lot more people's attention because we can do so much more.
That's a pretty popular thing. The Sleepy Cabin podcast, which is from the some guys from Newgrounds, what they tend to do is they put it out on SoundCloud so people can use RSS feeds to subscribe to it and get updates for it. But they put out a YouTube version of it. And it's usually just still pictures for something relevant or maybe a short video or something within there. They do a lot of production on their podcast. Well, they'll actually have like radio bits that happen. It's a hell of a thing. They're actually looking for a new podcast editor. And one of my friends was actually trying out for that. I hope he wins. That'd be cool.
I hope he wins too. Maybe he can do ours. Because I mean, I can do it, but
yeah, I can do the audio editing, no problem. Well, I don't know shit about video.
Well, you see, I can do the video editing. That's why we're ebony and ivory.
We're together in perfect harmony. She's like, ha!
I don't know.
Wait, almost got it. Ah! Okay, almost got it. Ah! Wait. Ah!
Bill, I get my damn RC truck tomorrow, and I'm super excited.
I don't know where mine is. Whenever Double A Ron finally gets
Double A?
Double A Ron? We'll call him
that way. You know how you have a lot of AA batteries? I don't think you're going to have any more tomorrow.
Yeah, it takes like 8 for the remote, and then the car will actually use the power from the battery pack to run the little the speed controller, but also has little plugs that go out to the other.
You know where I want to try to run it?
What?
Around here. But I also, you know that big mountain where the School of Music is? The like grass area where...
Oh, that?
Yeah, I want to see if we can
fun.
Jump it there and stuff. That'd be kind of cool.
Get a piece of plywood, get a running start from the Going Man lot, and then go through the window at Boston.
Oh,
that'd be unfortunate.
That would be... You know what you should do with your job? I just thought of this now. Instead of doing your job and looking for weeds...
Which I don't do anyway.
You should look for places we can, like, bash this motherfucker.
Oh, you're picking up the lingo now, are you?
Yeah.
You want to do some fucking bashing, bro?
Yeah.
You want to take?
I've been YouTubing the shit out of this.
You want to take the Traxxas out and do some bashing, bro?
I don't have a Traxxas. I have a red cat.
Well, I'm
yeah, mine works.
Yeah, the fucking doesn't matter. The engine they put out in the year I got mine's just shitty. Hopefully, AA Ron can fix that.
For those of you that don't know, because I mean, let's be honest, none of my friends are gonna watch this.
No.
Bill is my really good friend, which I didn't know this.
Just stumbled over me. You're my
and
I like to go to movies sometime.
He's typically the friend that I call when I want to try things out, different hobbies, or if I need a drum set because he's leaning over trying. Because
you're just staring at it over there.
I was just looking at it. I didn't want to look at you as I talk about you.
I know, right?
So...
No, when I play drums, I look like this.
I don't know where it came from. I don't know why I wanted to get one. Oh, now I remember. I was at Walmart, and Walmart has this ginormous, like, Gravedigger monster truck remote control thing.
Can I show you something?
Yeah.
In the suggested ads for Facebook, they keep showing up. So, like, sometimes it's that one, sometimes it's Gravedigger, and at times it's fucking Microsoft Zune, which sucks. No, Lumia, which sucks.
So for those of you that can't see, he's showing me his Facebook, and I have been sending him links upon links,
links
on links of just random shit that I want, like different kinds of buggies, because I didn't know what I was gonna get. I didn't know if I wanted a monster truck.
Buggies out, go bashing, bro.
I didn't know if I wanted a monster truck. I didn't know if I wanted a drifter. I didn't know what I wanted. I kind of just kept sending him things. Finally, I just ended up on this monster truck because it seemed like the suspension was the best. But
clearance, bro.
I feel like Bill didn't give two shits after like the first 5 minutes of it. But I still kept blowing up his phone with links.
God damn, you did. What night was it where you just kept making like, you're like, I want this. Then maybe I want this. I was asleep during all of that, and then I wake up and I'm like, what the fuck? So I had 8 text messages. I'm like, are you okay?
I think it was on Saturday.
Yeah, it was on Saturday. Something like, what do you want? Do you want some help? I don't know what you want.
I just needed somebody to text me out.
Yeah, just to kind of, you kept asking, should I get this battery? What about this charger? It's like, will it work with this one? And the whole time I thought, you got the Traxxas one, right? No, you got the Red Cat. And I was like, yeah, it should work.
Stupid. Don't even know what I
No, Traxxas does proprietary connectors for their batteries, and it's their claim to fame is that it's a wider contact surface, so it can deliver more amperage. But I'm pretty sure that's bullshit.
Well, I was gonna say Traxxas, if you want to sponsor our podcast and send us some cars, that'd be great.
They can send me a new fucking engine for my T-Max, and yeah, sure they can sponsor us. But otherwise, fuck them.
Well, if there's any other RC people out there that want to sponsor us,
fuck Red Cat too.
No, I can't make that judgment yet. I just want it to get here.
I can't remember
already.
any other brands right now. I want to throw all of them under the bus, but no well.
Hey, I feel like you would know. I canceled that order off Amazon, remember?
Yeah.
And they still haven't refunded me my money.
I think that's a whole few day process.
Well, I was reading it and it said 1 to 2 business days. Today's 2 business days, so I'm going to give them until tomorrow, but I don't know what to do after that.
It depends on if it's shipped or not.
It didn't. It was canceled immediately.
Yeah, because if it's shipped, they'd have to either bring it back off the truck or it would go to you and you'd have to return it to them. Yes.
All I know is that I got the email that said successfully canceled.
Yeah. But now give that time and they'll return it. You don't want to run it like a deficit from buying so many RC trucks. What if you get both and they refund you money anyway? Then I'll have something to play with.
Oh yeah, instead of playing by yourself.
Oh god. Yeah, I guess when that comes in tomorrow, you said?
Yeah. I don't even know if we're going to be able to play with it tomorrow.
Yeah, you're probably going to want to charge up the battery first, and that's going to be a few hours. Well, it depends on how long it takes.
Well, I bought that charger too. It'll get here tomorrow too.
Yeah, but the reason that charger's so fancy is it'll also balance them. It'll, for lithium-ion batteries, they're really finicky.
I don't have one of those yet.
Batteries are really finicky with charge and discharge cycles. So you want a charger that can fully discharge your battery if it's NiCad and then charge it back up. For lipos, you want to usually charge them when they're around 50%. So when you've got a laptop or a phone, you really just want it on the charger as often as possible.
A laptop or a phone?
Yeah.
Bullshit! I let my thing drain and then charge it fully.
You really don't want to do that with lithium-ion batteries.
Why?
It's bad for the battery.
I thought it was bad to keep them on the charger.
It's bad for the old types of batteries and iCads, but when we got the lithium-ion, that's not the case anymore.
So I should always keep my phone on the charger?
Yeah.
The hell?
Yeah. I know, right? They don't tell you that.
What is the world coming to nowadays?
Lithium, mostly. Lithium mines. So what are we going to call this thing? Because you were... Well, I don't think you suggested. I think I suggested the slightly racist podcast. Or the
almost racist.
We're not going to go with that.
No, we're not. How many people would listen?
We need...
a bunch of white people.
It's almost racist. What are we going to call it?
Call it the MXL podcast.
Are you looking at the logo on the microphone right now?
You look at the logo on the microphone right now.
That's not going to work, because that's already a registered trademark of Marshall.
Oh, yeah, it is. Look at
company,
that.
Which I don't remember who they're a subsidiary of.
We could call ourselves Holly Nuts.
That's banned. God, I wonder if there's a pod... I'm trying to think what names probably aren't taken. Always wrong.
What if we call ourselves Cock Tongue?
That's a play on the Rooster Teeth name.
Maybe we'll be like their sister podcast and they'll help us out.
There doesn't appear to be
a Cock Tongue?
No, there doesn't appear to be an Always Wrong podcast.
Always Wrong podcast.
There's a But You're Wrong podcast.
But You're Wrong?
But You're Wrong.
Oh, I get it.
If I go to the iTunes...
I had thought of something really good the other day. Why don't we call ourselves Jill?
Oh, it's just glee as hell.
Jelkinson.
Let's see if I remember my Apple ID.
You have an Apple? Oh, you have a Mac.
I mean, for the iTunes store. I had an Apple ID way before. Where the fuck?
I think I had an Apple account, and I think my email was iTunes, EYE TOONES at yahoo.com.
I had a weird Yahoo name. I remember that, but
You have weird every names.
no, I've consolidated them now, so they're all MP3 player,
Oh.
which is a monogram for the word MP3 player, because I had just gotten my MP3 player, and that's when I signed up for MySpace, and I needed a name.
Ha! How many friends you have on MySpace, bro?
None anymore, because that is fucking dead.
Have you ever tried to look up your MySpace? I don't even think it pops up anymore.
I don't ever.
I tried to find mine because I have like 6 of them because I kept forgetting my password and whatever. But I know 3 of them, like, they weren't even my name anymore. It was just like Jacob Hartz, whoever I was dating at the time, and it was just ridiculous.
That's so high school.
It was actually middle school. Feel old.
That's so middle school. At my private school, we weren't allowed to have MySpace. It was a big deal when someone had a MySpace. Wow. There really isn't an Always Wrong.
Wow.
The Always Wrong podcast.
Is that what our name is?
It might be. There's not one. Huh. Write that down.
That's a stupid name.
You're a stupid name!
Fucking got him. That's what it should be. Fucking got him.
We'll have that as a name. I like that name.
What?
Always Wrong. The Always Wrong podcast. AWP. Up.
Sounds stupid.
You're stupid. The You're Stupid podcast. Jacob's a dumb asshole podcast.
Jacob no puede leer.
Jacob no puede leer. That wasn't very good. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Terrible. Let's call ourselves the 10 all-new crust flavors.
You're reading off the fucking pizza box. Are you just looking at things around the room and just saying that you love them?
I love lamp.
I love lamp.
It really is a lamp.
I love lamp. Okay. Very quotable movie, that movie.
Oh, hey, I saw this on the Rooster Teeth
Yeah, the
podcast that I was talking
about. The grip ball, the Bernie. It's like, if you can't tell, I went to RTX 2013 and cleared out the store. I have a bunch of shirts.
Of course they can't tell. They can't see.
And, leaving that in. That whole thing. I think the only thing I'm going to bleep out is maybe a name or two.
Whose names?
Whose name? I'll... Probably not Aaron. Who's the other... Or maybe Aaron.
You'll bleep it out or you won't bleep it out?
Whenever I edit this, I'll figure it out then. Now you're just playing with the fucking levels. We'll call it the Blue podcast.
You should call... What about the Stormtrooper podcast?
I'm sure that's already there, and it's a registered trademark of Lucasfilms.
Oh. Lucas, can we borrow it?
Lucas. His name is George. His name is George Lucas. I'm gonna call this thing
The Avenue.
You
I'm not reading it. It says the Ave.
We'll call it the Wash Cold and Do Not Dry Clean podcast as we're reading our shirts.
What about the Hot Cheetos and Takis?
Looking around, see if there's a Hot Cheetos and nope, just a white room.
I can't get enough of these Hot Cheetos and Takis.
I'm in the Pizza Hut. I'm in the Taco Bell. I'm in the combination Pizza Hut and Taco Bell. Watched that video yesterday. That's all that video is.
I'm the best. Da, da, da.
This is just random noises. Is there a random noises podcast? Let's find out. That's radom. That's not the right word.
But
Fuck you.
I wish we had listeners so they could just send in their suggestions.
There is not a random noises podcast. I should probably just look on the iTunes stores.
You know why? Because these names are terrible.
I like the Always Wrong podcast. I like it.
Then let's just go with that. What else are we possibly... Well, we're going to come up with something way better.
We can always change it, right? That'll be the name. We can always change it.
I like that.
The Adam Savage's from Mythbusters podcast is called Untitled, by the way.
Insert title here.
Exactly. Insert witty title here. I like that.
What?
They were going to go with Always Wrong, for now.
Fine. I don't care. I don't care.
I think you do care.
I don't know how long this is gonna go. We do shit like this all the time.
And never finish them.
Exactly. So, if this is gonna be the one thing we do, I don't care what the title is. I just hope that it's good and it creates followers. And that I become a millionaire.
Oh shit, should I do a linked up? You know what a linked up is? So, as we talk about shit in the podcast, if there's like a relevant article or link to it, like in the comment section, put like just a series of links. Some call it linked up.
Oh.
That might be a good idea.
Did we have anything?
It was a lot of inside stories, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can link the country club websites. That'd be fine.
You could link the car I got.
Sure, I could link mine too. I could link my album of me rebuilding it for the RC car subreddit.
The what?
I will show you. Actually, no, I won't. Basically, part of tearing down that T-Max and rebuilding it was taking photos at every opportunity and writing kind of a funny, not an article, but just funny captions under each photo. Especially the part where I put something back together wrong and it wouldn't roll. So in that truck, there's a differential on the front axle and the back axle. I put in the front differential upside down, so that made it spin the other way when power was put to it. So when I tried to roll it, the center drive shaft was spinning against itself. So I put it on the floor to like do the whole thing where I test the brakes and servos and shit. And so I push it, and it's like, Arr! I'm like, what? And I look down and see the brake.
The brake!
I go down to see if the brake is seized. Hey, man. And,
I didn't even know what kind of accent that was.
It was almost Jamaican. No, it was just...
It was almost Jamaican.
It was like Jamaican into New York. Not even New York. I don't know what I'm doing. Never mind.
Remember that time we tried to just talk in accents?
I don't want to remember that, because that was miserable.
There was no reason for it.
Was it speaking in accents until noon? Is that what we challenged each other?
The whole day, I think. It was like to see who could do it.
was
like,
awful.
Break it first.
Oh, it was awful.
It was terrible.
What a miserable thing to do.
It was.
What was
and
I
you
saying?
kept, like, changing yours.
Yeah, I was like, can I change my... And I would just change into shitty accent after shitty accent. What the fuck was I saying? Before we got on the topic of accents...
You were talking about how
so that with that one differential upside down, it wouldn't roll. It took me an hour to take it apart again and flip it around and then put it back together. I was furious because it was like 8 hours of work to get that thing.
How old were you?
This was like 2 months ago.
Oh my god.
How old were you? 23? I mean, I'm 24 now. But...
Hey, so tomorrow for... Let's call him...
The lag?
Tomorrow... For, let's call him Yef's birthday.
Yeah.
My name is Yef. We're going to Cheddar's if you want to come. But we're also going to Titty Bar afterwards if you want to join us.
Not a fan of titty bars.
How many have you been to?
0.
Exactly, so you can't judge. This is all our first times. Except for, let's call him Yef.
Okay, from now on, everyone's name is Yef.
Yeah,
and if they're female, it's Yeffiner.
Except for our friend Yef. I think he's been there before, and he's really eager. But one of our other friends, let's call her Yef, she's coming with us, right? But his girlfriend's name is also Yef. So we were like, oh, I don't know if Yef will want to come. And then Yef was like, no, let's tell her it's a girls' night only. We were like, what? We're like, guys' night only. And
Yef's night only.
Yeah, and we were like, oh wait, it's not your Yef. And he was like, oh, okay then, we're cool. I don't know why I told that story.
What the fuck what even was that? I don't know who any of these Yefs are.
He's talking about Alex and Yef.
I'm gonna take a Yef from this conversation to use that to censor names. It's always gonna be Yef. That is spelled. How's that spelled? Is that Yeff or Jeff with a tilde over it?
With a what?
That wouldn't denote a soft J. Never mind. Could be jogging. Could be yogging. Could be soft J.
My name's Yef.
Okay. I like Always Wrong podcast.
Okay, you said that. I said yes 7 times.
Why do we have to fight? Why everything? Why is everything goddamn fine? I don't know why.
Look what I can do.
No one's injured. That sounded worse than it was. We've been going for an hour and 15 minutes.
As longer than I thought we were gonna make it.
And let's see.
And I feel like we have a lot more stories to tell.
Probably. Or we have like 3 more podcasts worth, and that would be it.
But you see, I feel like if we pick up 10 people, that's all I care about. If we can get 10 people, I will call this a success. But if we can pick up 10 people...
You ever seen the movie Pay It Forward?
No.
No reason. Keep going.
Why?
Just keep going. It has to do with, like, you tell 10 people, and then they'll tell people, and then they'll tell games The Walking Dead, and never mind.
Started out good.
Started okay, it's kind of, wow, stroking out over there a little bit.
Anyways, if we can get 10 people to listen to our damn podcast, I will make it a super awesome video podcast. Like, we will do crazy challenges. We'll ask them what they want to see.
Oh god, we'll become an empire.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, I would love to do shit like this.
Jesus, I'm already a part of a YouTube thing.
Oh, Derek's thing?
Yeah.
I mean, Yev's thing? I'm gonna break this. I need to bring my own chair that I can't do this in.
I've got some folding chairs that are a little more sturdy. These are really bad. These are like...
that's all I'm saying. And you're not part of it. You're like... assistant 2. This is gonna be like...
I was in their stream. I drove to Dallas. And then drove back at like 5 in the morning.
So was China, and that's the only one I've really seen.
She lives there. I commuted to Dallas from Lubbock. It's like a 6-hour drive.
Well, you see, at least you don't have to do that here. Sure. But I would... if we get 10 people to listen to this bullshit... even if, like, next time we have 2 people listening, I don't care. I would love to make this a pretty badass thing.
I would too.
Where like, people would send in shit like, I want to see you 2 do this. And we would go. Because I love video editing. I love syncing shit up. And I like doing edits and cuts. But the only thing I ever do that are my shitty drum covers. So, like, I don't ever get to do this. So if I have the opportunity to do this...
something you're doing that's not you just shitting all over the drum
Yeah, like... I would love to do that.
That's not fair. Your last video was way better. The audio wasn't great, and that's my fault, but...
It's okay.
You were way more prepared.
I was way more
I think those were all like one take, too.
They were.
Way better than the one where we set up in the studio, and I brought all my shit, and Doc and Shin walked in, and...
Oh, man. I remember I thought I was so ready for it, and just shit all over everything.
Well, fun. Of course, I shit all over mine, too, because I've never prepared a drum set cover. I want my cymbals back. I wanted to play with a song.
They're in my car right now.
We can get those after the show.
And that's the show. Yep. You see, you...
I was going to stop it right there.
Oh.
Or not. Fine. Asshole. Shithead. Dickhole.
You should come up with a catchy shit for this. You did it for... What is it? Dick-detics or...
It's Nerd Codex.
There, I was close. Dick-detics.
No, maybe we'll rope them into this or something.
I don't want them in this.
Alright, fine. I'll just...
They're lame. I don't know their names.
You know... Yeah. You know Derek. You don't know Josh, but you went to school with Yip, so I don't...
Yeah, but he didn't even know who I was when I, like, commented on his stream. You remember that?
That's true. He's like,
hey, it's,
who is that?
It's,
Yeah. Don't say your usernames, bruh. Well, I'll say mine.
You said yours already.
I did. Yep. I'll just take that in the stretch and be like, and that'll be it. God.
Yeah.
Let's record some Yefs. Jeff. Yef. Jeff.
This reminds me of Sesame Street. Jeff.
Asshole.
Yeah.
F.
Jeff.
We're getting a little bit silly.
My cheeks are really hurting right now.
I think this was good. I'm going to stop it right about...
But we didn't even say bye to anybody. And we didn't even ask people to share or if they like this.
So, like, comment, subscribe on the SoundCloud channel. It's probably my personal channel for the first two things. So let's gain some traction, and we'll make our own SoundCloud.
Nah, screw it. Let's go big or go home. Let's just make our own SoundCloud. Or do you have to pay for it?
No, it's free.
Yeah, why is this even a discussion then?
Okay, so it'll be on the The Always Wrong SoundCloud.
Yeah, the always, and then you see, I'm pretty sure that's permanent, so that'll always be the name.
Let me check if SoundCloud has that open. I'll do that after
Oh,
that.
great.
Well, let's go.
If it's not, then we're gonna have to change the name. We'll be like always wrong with like
With
A1.
with a 0 in the wrong.
No, the L will just be a 1. Always, but A1 ways.
It isn't.
Yeah, because it's a stupid name.
You're a stupid name.
Go back to your home on Whore Island.
Goddamn. Funny movie. Second one sucked ass.
I honestly didn't see it. I saw like part of it. I saw the fight scene. I think that was like the last thing I saw. It was really long. I had like a recital to go to that day or something, so I didn't get to see it. You know, we're not ever gonna get listeners if you fucking blow their eardrums out by doing that.
Okay. I'm gonna stop it.
So, like, comment, subscribe, share.
Share it with your friends. If you share it with 10 friends, and they share it with 10 friends, and they share it with 10 friends, that's like 6 billion people right there.
Networking.
And they share it with 10 billion people, and they share it with 10 people, and tent poles.
If you've made it this far, and you share it, and we have at least 2 viewers, Bill will wear a dress in our next one.
Well, which one? Which dress? I mean,
Your favorite one.
small black dress it is, everybody. I think that's it, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.